Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Libraviews. I'm Charlene. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video. So, child, did you see how last night Teresa pretty much confirmed that she don't like Melissa and pretty much never liked Teresa since the beginning of time? Because that's what I picked up on when I was watching the reunion last night. Okay, so let's get into it. So during last night's episode of Real Housewives in New Jersey, they had a reunion part one, and they talked about a lot. You know, they got into many things, but one thing that I really wanted to come here and talk about was the relationship between Teresa and Melissa. So towards the end of the episode, we learned that Teresa did not make Melissa a part of her bridal party, okay? Melissa will not be in the wedding. She's invited to the wedding, but she's going to be sitting in the crowd. She's not a part of the wedding party at all. And Melissa had made a statement saying that at first she didn't really mind because she's like, you know what? It's probably just going to be Gia. You know what I mean? It's probably just going to be like their kids in the bridal party. But then Melissa learned that Teresa is having Louis, her fiance's siblings, in her bridal party. So it's like, hold on, wait. You've known me for 17 or however many years, but these women who you've just met 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, they're in your bridal party and I'm your sister-in-law for longer. So Teresa starts going in basically talking about different reasons why. She's basically saying, Melissa and her aren't close, and honestly, I remember watching Girls Trip, that Girls Trip show that they had with Kenya, Cynthia, a couple of girls from the New York, and Teresa and Melissa were on the show. And I remember watching that show and I remember thinking to myself, Teresa does not like Melissa. Like, I remember watching the show and saying that, right? And just thinking that. I'm like, after all this time, I don't think Teresa even really rock with Melissa like that, right? So then we get to the reunion, and when Teresa starts basically talking about why she didn't include Melissa in her bridal party, she was basically talking about how it was because they're not close. And then, oddly, Teresa starts bringing up the situation that happened with Caroline and Jacqueline and Danielle and all that stuff and mess from like 12 years ago, like 10 years ago. And I said, see, Teresa never liked Melissa. Teresa grew to tolerate Melissa because if you remember, Teresa went through all of that stuff with Joe Giudice. He went to jail. Her mom had passed away shortly after. Then No died shortly after. Joe Giudice got arrested and then was deported. So Teresa didn't really have much family. And Teresa has said numerous times, I have a small family. I have a small family. It's just me, my parents, my brother. Me, my parents, my brother. And when she had Joe, she had Joe and Joe's sisters and Joe's brothers and Joe's brothers' wives and Joe's cousins. And because if you remember, Joe Giudice and Teresa and Joe Gorga all grew up together and known each other from a very, very young age. So when Teresa had Joe and when Teresa had No and when Teresa had her mom, she felt like she didn't really have to rock with Melissa like that. Like, I feel like they had their moments where they made up and they were cool and what have you. But Teresa had a support system. Now that she's no longer with that support system or really connected to any of that lifestyle anymore, or was it before she met Louis, that's when I noticed that she was getting a little closer to Melissa and a little bit nicer to Melissa, and they seemed to click a little bit more. Now that she has Louis, now that she clearly has Louis's family, and she clearly maintains some sort of a relationship with Joe, her actual brother, I don't think she's interested in maintaining a relationship with Melissa like she was prior to her finding Louis. And like I said, when I was watching the reunion yesterday, she's bringing up Caroline and Jacqueline and all these people. I'm like, see, I said, Teresa never really messed with Melissa, and it is proven. And like I said, when I was watching Girls Trip, I said, you know what? I said, Teresa don't really mess with Melissa like that. She tolerates Melissa. You know what I'm saying? Even after all these years, I think that, Teresa has love for her and she cares for her, but I don't think that Teresa forgot about how, Melissa befriended a lot of people that ended up being her enemies. And if you remember, Teresa said that she feels like Carolyn and Jacqueline had something to do with her, getting locked up. So Teresa probably really had some deep rooted feelings about Melissa, being friends with Danielle at the time, when she was having, her son, and Danielle exposed that Teresa didn't show up at the hospital. And then, Melissa being friends with these people that really, really she contributes to ruining her life. And so I don't think Teresa ever got over it. It's not surprising that Melissa's not in her bridal party. I think it's something that Joe and Melissa and Teresa are just gonna have to just maintain with each other. Sometimes family or not, you just don't get along with everybody. I mean, and that's okay. Like sometimes you just, even if they're your cousins, your brother, your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law, like sometimes, the vibes are off. I mean, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means that you don't mesh. You know what I'm saying? So, I do think that, Melissa being so, heartbroken that she's not, in Teresa's wedding, I think it's a little fake. I think Melissa's only talking about this and she's only like bringing it up because she wants to be able to throw a jab at, Teresa, because, Teresa is one-sided. She expects things out of Melissa and out of Joe that she doesn't give. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that, but do I think that Melissa like really genuinely cares that she's like she's like really heartbroken? No. Melissa don't give a damn if that she and that girl wedding. You know what I'm saying? So I think I think, it's not a big deal there. Like, Melissa, calm down. Like, you really don't care, girl. But what I will say is that I don't think that Teresa ever liked Melissa. And the only reason why they seem to, kind of build a little bond and seem to build a closer connection was because Teresa felt like all she had was her 4 daughters and her brother, But now she got Louis. She got her 4 daughters. She got Louis. I'm pretty sure she still has Joe Giudice in her corner if she needs him. She has Louis' family. She has and she has a brother. So she's like, Melissa, I don't need you anymore. You know what I mean? And, as messed up as that may seem, that's just really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, I can throw this in really quick while we're here. I thought it was interesting that Teresa said that she never was in love with Joe. Girl, you was in love with Joe. Girl, you was in love with Joe. You know what I mean? It might not have been, a mature love. It might not have been a healthy love, but you were in love with Joe. You loved Joe. And I think that if Joe would have never have went to prison, you guys would still be together. And you would still be with Joe. You would still be running around the house. Joe, how's your stomach, Joe? You'd still be, so cut it, but I'm pretty sure that was a dagger in Joe's, it's like, damn, like he ruined so